Hello everyone, this time I'm going to discuss the electronic industry in another country. I'll be choose Rwanda, a country in the African continent. Most of you watching this video probably don't know this country, this is. Honestly, I don't know about this either. This is why we're the discussion in this video. This video will be around 10 minutes long, so just watch all they talk. Rwanda. Rwanda is a country in the African continent located in the African Great Lakes region, directly bordering several countries such as Uganda, Tanzania, Burundi, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. This country is also known as the Land of a Thousand Hills due to this hill topography. The capital of this country is Kigali. The language spoken by Rwandan people is Kinyarwanda as the national language, while English and French we also commonly use by local. Rwanda saltwater tech hub is a landlocked, resource poor and 30 years ago was torn apart the genocide. Yet somehow, this small East African nation has become one of the continent's most dynamic centers of electronic and digital innovation. The story of how that happened is worth understanding. After 1994, Rwanda had to rebuilding everything. The government led by President
Paul Kagame
made a calculated bet. Instead of trying to compete in traditional manufacturing of agriculture, they leapfrogged tried to a knowledge economy. It sounded after of the time, but they were all in. The first major came in 210 when Rwanda connected to the East Africa submarine cable system. The fiber optic link outward changed everything. Suddenly, Rwanda could access high-speed internet without paying economical price. The government didn't stop there. They rolled out fiber optic cable across the country, even to rural areas where most country were border. By the mid-220s, you could get decent internet in a place that didn't have reliable electricity and real. This was just about checking email faster. Good connectivity meant business could operate here. Software developers could work for clients anywhere in the world. Startups could build products for regional and international markets. The playing field started to level. Walk around Kigali today and you'll see why people call the Singapore of Africa. The streets are clean, things actually work, and there's a palpable sense that people are building something. The government created the Kigali Innovative City, a 70-hectare tech park that offers tax break and infrastructure tax company. It's not subtle. They want to be among the factoring and R&D hub, and they're putting money behind it. The tech science here isn't just foreign companies setting up shop. Local startups are the solving area problem. Some are building IoT sensors for farmers who need better crop data. Others are working on mobile payment system that actually function in low areas. There's a company making a solar panel system with smart payment integration. None of these pie in the sky stuff. Those are working products addressing genuine needs. Here where Rwanda gets it right. They obsess over education. The University of Rwanda has partnership with schools worldwide, bringing in the expertise and sending students out to learn. But they not just focus on 4 years degrees. They run intensive coding bootcamp, vocational training program, and apprenticeship. The goal is simple: get people skilled and employed quickly. The results show Rwanda now has thousands of programmers, electronic technicians, and telecom engineers. Not all of them are world-class yet, but they're competent and improving fast. companies can actually find people to hire there, which wasn't true a decade ago. Rwanda isn't going to out-manufacture China anytime soon, but they're taking steps to build local production capacity. Marathon set up a facility in Kigali and started assembling smartphones. Are all the companies made here? No, most are imported. But having any electronic manufacturing is significant for a country starting from zero. Government in Rwanda. Rwanda's government is genuinely impressive. You can register a business, pay tax, and access health records online. Coming from a country where government paperwork is a nightmare, this is major. It cuts corruption, saves time, and makes the whole system more transparent. Kigali is also experimenting with smart city tech, traffic management system, solar power street light with sensor, integrated waste collection. Some of it work better than others, but they're learning by doing. And all of this creates demand for electronic, sensor, and software, which help the local tech ecosystem. Drone tech actually matter. The drone delivery program here isn't a gimmick. Zipline has been flying medical supplies to remote health center since 2016. Both vaccine, medication, things that are time sensitive and hard to transport over bad roads. The drone use GPS, navigation, sensor, and communication system to make delivery that would otherwise take hours by car. This matters because it proves you can deploy advanced technology in developing country effectively. Rwanda is now a testing ground for drone application, agricultural monitoring, land mapping, even e-commerce delivery. Companies want to work here because the regulatory environment is supportive and the government actually cooperative. Rwanda's commitment to getting electricity to everyone, and they're using renewable to do it. Solar, hydro, biogas, all of it requires electronic components, inverter, battery system, and smart grid technology. The demand of this system has created opportunities for local companies to assemble and maintain solar installation. Mobile money dominates here. Most transactions happen on phone, not in bank. This requires reliable telecom infrastructure, payment terminal, and back-end system. Banks have adapted fast, offering mobile banking and internet banking that actually work. Rwanda is also experimenting with blockchain for land register and digital identity. Some of it is experimental, but they're willing to try new approach. The financial sector here is more innovative than in my weather country. Let's be honest about the challenge. Rwanda domestic market is small, about 13 million people. That limits how much you can scale locally. Almost all electronic components are imported, which drive out costs and make local people products less competitive. There's still a skill gap. The electronic industry needs specialists, and Rwanda doesn't have enough of them yet. Many talent graduates left for better opportunity abroad. Funding for startups is limited. Venture capital and angel investment networks are still developing. The government's role in the economy is substantial, which makes some investors nervous. Political freedom are restricted, which has its own implication for attracting talent and investment. What's come next? Rwanda has a new advantage. It's stable, the infrastructure is decent, and the government is commitment to tech development. The African Continental Free Trade Area could open up market across the continent. Regional integration with East Africa gives access to a much larger customer base. The country is positioning as a regional R&D hub. Some multinational tech companies have opened an office in Kigali, saying it as a base for African operation, whether its momentum continuing independent of sustained investment, improving education, and staying competitive as other African countries develop their own tech sector. Rwanda's electronics industry is a work in progress. What is real progress? The country went from devastation to becoming a credible tech hub in 3 decades. That's not just speed. You can see functioning business, skill works, and actual products being made and used. Is Rwanda going to become the next Silicon Valley? Probably not. What is proving that every small, resource-constrained country can build tech industry if they make smart choice and stick with them. Other countries are watching and learning from smart work here. The technology industry in Rwanda isn't about producing the next iPhone or revolutionizing semiconductor manufacturing. It is about building capacity, creating jobs, and using technology to solve local problems while connecting to global market. For a country that had rebuilding from nothing, that's already impressive achievement. Where it goes from here will depend on whether it can maintain momentum and adapt as the global tech landscape evolves. So that's about the electronic industry in Rwanda. And I apologize if my pronunciation isn't perfect because I am still learning. Actually, I made this video because it's a form for my final exam for English course. So polite and constructive, critical and suggestion are welcome in comment section. See you in my other video. Bye.